your deployment? That'd be
Sure, my pleasure. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank the library for extending me this invitation, and I'm very honored and humbled to be sitting alongside these gentlemen and in front of you today. I guess part of the reason for me being here is to talk about how my upbringing has influenced me serving in the U.S. military. And I tend to think that it's not attributed to a single event that happened in my life or heavy influence from my parents. My dad did serve in the U.S. Army for a short term. I tend to think it's more just the way I was wired, perhaps, and I just knew that serving in the U.S. military was something I always wanted to do. I have an older brother, and when we were growing up, we, as little kids do, get into trouble, and my father would think of some creative ways to discipline us in a true military fashion. He would, one of the things he would do is put us down in what we know as the front lean and rest, the push-up position without going all the way down. And doing that for so many minutes gets a little tiring. And my brother and any normal kid would walk away from that type of experience devastated, thinking, I never want to go through that again. For me, on the other hand, I kind of walked away thinking, it wasn't too bad. Not only was it not too bad, kind of enjoyed that. And, take that one step further, not only did I enjoy that a little bit, I wouldn't mind doing it a little more. So without giving my parents the heartache, I just knew growing up that being in the military and ultimately being a U.S. Marine was something in my heart I knew I always wanted to do. And in terms of what it means to be an Asian American serving in the U.S. military, for any Marines in the room, I think we'd be able to attest to the fact that when you become a Marine, you're signing on to accepting essentially a new culture, a new identity. And it transcends any race, gender, and being a Marine in and of itself is enough, and you're going to be held to how you perform as a Marine. Now, with all that said, I guess the reality is you see me in front of my platoon, my company. I'm the one Asian face in just about all the units I belong to, the one Asian face, one Asian officer in front of a group of Marines. And it's something I never thought about very consciously. And at one point, my parents asked me a very fair question, asking me, I'm sure there's very few Asian officers, and with all these individuals that you're responsible for, to lead, to give direction to, do you experience any type of bias, stereotype in doing so? And it was a very fair question. It's something I never thought about up to that point. And my parents being immigrants, not knowing the English language very well coming here, I can never truly appreciate what they might have gone through. But again, as a testament to the Marine Corps, being a Marine, and what it means to be a leader in the Marine Corps, it's not about your background, your gender, your race. It's do you truly understand the responsibilities that are entitled to you, and are you capable of making the right decision? So through all the years, the 3 deployments I've done and in combat overseas, that was never a question as to whether my Marines looked at me in any different way. And as long as I was a competent individual, able to make the hard decision, the right decision, and look after their welfare and accomplish the mission, in the end, that's all that really mattered. And it's not really for lack of desire, ability, opportunity that you don't see a lot of Asian Marines, officers especially, in my military occupational specialty. That's just the way it turned out. But in my last deployment, I kind of had the unique job, not only in being a platoon commander for a reconnaissance platoon, where we did the full spectrum of combat missions, security patrols, doing targeted raids, humanitarian operations. In one short duration, I was put in charge of essentially running all the military operations in a city south of Fallujah. And so a lot of my job shifted from the typical military combat role as an officer to more of a, I guess you can say, a public administrations type of role, where I was conducting daily meetings with the chief of police, religious leaders, local officials, and while I was still responsible for deploying my Marines in combat operations, on a day-to-day basis, I found myself doing more of those public administration type responsibilities. And I'm sure for the counterparts, local Iraqis that I was dealing with, it was a new experience for them as well. They see a U.S. military officer, their expectation would be to see someone with a Caucasian, not an Asian American. So I'm sure it was a little unique to them to see me in a U.S. military uniform. But again, it's not so much your appearance, it's what job are you able to perform, and being able to connect with these individuals on a personable level, making them understand that we are genuinely believe in our mission, and we are here to help the local populace. And in the end, it was, I believe it was great for the Marine Corps to show an Asian face, to show the diversity of the U.S. military to these local people. So with that, again, it's not, up to this point, it wasn't something that I thought about consciously, and it really had no bearing in my ability to perform my job as a Marine officer. But being of Asian American heritage, of Korean descent, is something that I've always been very proud of.
Newest generation of Asian American serving in the military. What's your take on the question?
Well, to be frank, especially with everything that's going on today, I don't know if the military can do its part to promote, market the great opportunities you get from serving, the pride in doing so. But in the end, it has to be really, it's incumbent upon the individual it has to be his or her decision to go out and do it. And I agree with Major Lee in that the mark of success, especially amongst the Asian community, isn't necessarily to serve in the military. There's other professions where that's a little more reputable, and that's reality. That's the way it's always been. But I guess I could do my part and get the word out there at my level. But it's really, people will know if it's the right thing to do for them, because you influence individuals to join something that they truly do not have their heart set on. Especially with everything going on today, it might not be the right decision for them.